Friday morning. Hey, everybody. How's it going? This is Jeremy coming at you once again. Redtired podcast. And great news, everybody. I do not have the coronavirus. I know you're sweating it out, and I know it's bothering you, but you know what? I just got to throw that out there. I don't have the coronavirus. And also, another person who doesn't have the coronavirus is my co-host today, Mr. Jacob Valdez. Good morning, Jacob.
How are you doing today? Yeah, I heard you can get it through podcasts now.
Yeah, it's transmitting through all sorts of crazy ways. I just whatever you do, just don't breathe on me and wash your hands, and it's pretty easy stuff. This, I don't want to downplay anything because I know there will be people who die from this, and that's sad. But there's people that died from the swine flu. There's people who died from that was called H1N1. There's people who, dude, there's epidemics all over the place. There's people who die from the regular influenza all the time. It's sad, but it's a fact of reality. It's life. So, but the beautiful thing about the coronavirus is because of all of the fear, the markets have been tanking. And you know what that means? It means
Buy.
Buy it up. While everybody else is out stocking up on toilet paper, you know what I'm buying? I'm buying stocks. I've got
and toilet paper.
Dude, I just bought a bunch of shares of. Oh yeah, you want to make some money? Johnson & Johnson, I'm sure, is doing well right now, considering their next earnings report is going to be insane. So, yeah. They probably sold more hand sanitizer and baby wipes and first aid everything because of all this fear. They're going to have an amazing earnings report in the next coming cycle. What do you think about all the fear and all the coronavirus and all this insanity?
It is insane, dude. Like going anywhere now is like getting checked on base.
Yeah. We went to the VA the other day, and it was the same thing. All I had to do was get labs drawn. Have you been out of the country the last 30 days? Do you know anybody who's been out of the country in the last 30 days? Do you have any children that have been out of the country in the last 30 days?
I feel like I'm in trouble every time I go somewhere. Fingerprints, please.
Yeah. Welcome to McDonald's. Have you been outside of the country in the last 30 days?
Yeah, we need mugshots of everyone.
You need to start doing fingerprints. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Dude, it's insane, man. People are shutting down. I just got a text message from my friend John, who teaches down at Fort Worth. Dude, he's out of a job until the 30th.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I read something today on the news. On my trading platform, the news constantly comes through, and you're constantly being updated with all this information. And one of the things that I read was that the Fed was talking about suspending student loan payments.
What about everything else?
That was my first thought. I was like, wait a minute. Hey, wait, hold on. We're going to have sympathy on just one sector of no. That doesn't make sense. So if you're going to start doing things like, well, you don't have to make your student loan payments this month, then you probably better go ahead and intervene on other things such as mortgages. What about car payments? What about credit card payments? Hey, those people, I mean, they're going to have problems too, right?
Yeah, all these people going on furlough for something crazy. It's crazy too. While I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I was waiting, and I think they had it on our local news channel, and college kids are now complaining who's going to pay for their boarding and stuff while they're sitting there and not going to classes.
Have you, dude? It's like that. You hear this sad little tune playing in your head, that little violin.
Like, oh my God, it's going crazy.
Yeah, you've got to think through all this stuff, and we're not trying to minimize the effects of the virus because it's going to hurt some people.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in the market, if you've got a retirement fund, if you've got a Roth IRA, a 401k, what have you, things might look a little scary right now. Man. And I know there's people that are pulling out of the market, and that's the biggest mistake that you can make.
Yep,
you're in this for the long haul.
I'll pretend you're in a raft and just hold that storm.
Just stick it out, ride it. Listen, Dave Ramsey says the only people who ever get hurt on a roller coaster are the people who jump off.
Uh-huh.
Take that for what it's worth. It was funny is I was helping my mother actually with her investments, and she had a bunch of money in a government fund, and I'm like, oh, we got to get it out of there because you're going to get so much better growth in the market. And I jokingly said, as soon as I move all this stuff out of the government fund and into the S&P funds and the actual market funds, then we're going to go into a bearish market. And guess what? It wasn't like 5 days later we started getting all the coronavirus scares and the market went bearish. And I was just like, if I would have just waited like 1 week, I would have made my mother so much money. Damn it.
But let her hold on.
But yeah, she knows. She's like, oh, I don't even look at it. I'll look at it when I retire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just hold. Guys, I'm telling you, the storm is the media, guys. They're the waves crashing you and the lightning and the thunder, but I'm telling you, just hold on and things are going to settle and you're going to get not just your money back, but even more.
What's worse about this is, okay, so like I said, I really don't want to minimize this because it will kill some people, but I think that this thing is so overhyped. I really think that it's hyped to a ridiculous degree. And here's why. Anytime that there's any kind of market fluctuation, people stand to make money. Now, we've always talked about politicians and how they get rich. Like, this is nothing new. Politicians have an effect on the market when they say certain things. So if they take something like a coronavirus or a swine flu virus or insert random Y2K even, really.
Yeah.
The housing market bubble burst, the .com burst, like all these different things, they have the power to hype these things so much that fear drives the market down. Well, so if you're a politician, you go in and you're like, yeah, I'll say, we're really struggling right now with this virus. We're really trying to contain it, but, Donald Trump is just not helping us with all the stuff that blah, 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 blah. The CDC is coming out. Yeah, like you've got this huge influence. Okay. And I rambled a little bit there. I'm sorry. You've got this huge influence where you have all of the media that's paying attention to you. And let's be real, all the big dogs in media, people still watch the news. That's so stupid. But all these big dogs in the media, they're sitting there, eyes focused on certain politicians, listening to certain things that come out. So what are the politicians actually doing is they're putting fear into the market, causing the downturn. Well, if you know anything about investing, you can short anything in the market, basically sell it at a premium price and then buy it back later. That gives you a return, so to speak. When the pandemic has settled, the dust has settled, everybody is starting to relax a little bit. The politicians reverse their positions, and then the market starts going back up, and they make money yet again. They're essentially double dipping. Now, all that being said, I got to point out something that's a little interesting. I'm not a huge conspiracy guy, but I don't trust politicians at all. I'm starting to wonder what Jeff Bezos knew that caused him to sell off $2 billion worth of Amazon stock just before the market pulled back.
I did not know that.
He sold a bunch of stock, I believe it was late January, cashed out about $2 billion worth of Amazon stock.
And it's too early for the FCC to look into it.
Oh, they're not going to look into it. It's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're more worried about the little guys like you and me.
Maybe he's pulling cash to do some R&D. Nope, I don't know.
I think maybe he's going to put his money back into the market and ride it back up. But here's the thing. The question is how did he know? Because do you really believe in coincidence?
Not for that. Not with that kind of price tag, no.
I know he's a smart guy, but is he that smart?
Maybe he's going to split it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, because politicians, they don't get rich on their own, do they? No, that's crazy talk.
No, but I'm saying maybe he's going to split Amazon stock. No, but that'll be all over the news.
I don't know why you'd want to. I mean, in Jeff Bezos' position, I don't know why you'd want to rock the boat. I mean, they got a great thing going. Great thing going. Why would you want to? Why would he? Anyway.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Back to the original point. Coronavirus is causing this massive sell-off. Buy stocks now. Choose wisely. Don't buy those cheap little, I got $1,000 worth, or I got 1,000 shares in Ford. Yeah, Ford is kind of a junk company. I'm sorry. Not sorry. They sell they're selling at like $5 a share right now. You think that it's just going to go back up magically? I don't think so. Buy good quality stocks. Buy something. But if you don't know what to buy, good Lord, talk to an investment agent. Talk to somebody who's in the market. Go see our friend Daryl Lyons down in San Antonio. Give him a phone call. Develop a plan. Put your money in the market and forget it's there.
Yep.
You won't regret it.
Jeffrey signs off. This is insane, though. You're right, though. You know, with people, when it comes to knowledge, and we preach this all the time about knowledge and knowing what to do and what not to do. And these are the times that, you know, don't sell these. There's a lot more smarter people out there than you and me that are literally scheming and profiting off of something like this. And and it's not illegal. They just know what they're doing, and they're playing off your emotions. Going back to, you know, we always talk about the primal brain. Right now, we're all going into scarcity mode. We're gathering up all these materials, thinking like and how in the caveman he's scared, and that's what we're doing right now. But the smarter people that don't play on their emotions, I'm telling you, they're the ones out there benefiting, and they're the ones out there hunting all the wild and the food, and while you stocked already. So
yeah, I got to be honest with you, man. I'm not scared at all. Like I think it's ridiculous that people, of all things, the things that they're stocking up on the most is toilet paper. What is that?
I don't know.
You really, like, that's your big concern is wiping your butt? What about like all the other stuff, like, I don't know, non-perishable food items? What about things like I don't know, medicine? It is a virus. Nope. Toilet paper. Charmin made some amazing sales this month.
Yeah. I think that that one thing too, Walgreens, I think some guy out of nowhere, I forgot his name, but he was planning on buying a Walgreens, and it was going to be one of the most largest privately held hostage takeovers ever. And
really,
yeah, and I think he was going to buy it for $77 billion. So I think that after all this, I think he's I think everything that's happening is bringing Walgreens, you know, value a little bit higher now.
Well, let's take a look real quick, because now you got me interested. I didn't know that there was a possible.
Yeah, it's been going on for a year now. It's going back and forth. I think Walgreens at the time was $55 billion plus $16 billion in deficit and retail debt. So it would come out to like.
Let's see. Before pre-coronavirus, Walgreens was trading at about $50 to $60 a share. Today, it's trading at $41 a share. Let's see, where's market cap of $40.81 billion. Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, when you look at these kinds of things, this is like the prime time for people to come in and start doing takeovers and corporate buyouts and things like that.
No, but I'm saying he might back out and then see. So yeah, that's what I was getting into. He might back out from Walmart and be like, well, there's all these other companies now.
You mean Walgreens?
Yeah, Walgreens. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How is Walmart? Dude, Walmart's going to post some killer earnings in the next cycle too. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Yeah, Walmart. Oh man. No, people aren't dumb. So check this out. Walmart has traded at about $120 a share for at least 6 months out of the year so far. Right now, they're trading at 104. Walmart has not taken a huge hit. I might buy some Walmart stock because when this whole thing goes away, yeah, I might buy some Walmart stock. And I'm not telling anybody else to do it. I'm
Yeah.
not qualified to do that. I'm saying I might do it. Good
Yeah.
God, that's going to be great. The SEC is going to come and shut us down. Like
Yeah.
you owe like millions of dollars worth of fines. We don't make any money.
Yeah. So don't take our advice, guys. We're just letting you know just to ride the storm and just make some good choices, man. That's all.
Yeah. Put some money in the market.
Other than that, Jeremy, how's your filmmaking stuff coming along?
It's okay. Yeah, I've picked up a couple of jobs. Making it's real simple stuff. All I'm doing is filming the house and then getting the audio. And I've actually stepped up my game a little bit with audio engineering and processing and things like that. And so I've learned how to remove like an audio buzz or something like that from the microphone. And so unfortunately, the microphone that we're using, the cable's not shielded very well, and so we do pick up electrical interference. That's a thing, but it's amazing what you can get accomplished with today's technology. And I didn't put a lot of money into all this equipment. I think the camera that I have, I think I paid $200 for the camera. I bought a lens for it. That was an extra $20. I bought a shotgun microphone that sounds surprisingly really good. It was only $20. The wind muff for it, all these little necessary things that you have to have. Man, it's not that expensive to get into a niche market. Like any idiot can do it. If I'm doing it, anybody can do it.
We should start our own retired production company and combine all our gear together.
Well, yeah, because that would be a great deal for me, because I've really only got like $300 or $400 of gear, and you've got like, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 worth of gear, maybe more.
So far.
But it's going great. I'm really enjoying it, and I think my clients are really appreciating the work too. So
nice, awesome.
So far, so good. Yep. And anyway, so that's my life in a nutshell. So let's talk about, you had some stuff come up. And it's pretty evident we haven't been on the podcast here for a little while. We've been kind of both doing our own thing, of course, but we still try to remain as consistent as possible with our own podcast. But why don't you just go ahead and tell us about why we're not podcasting much this week?
I was in a hospital for most of it, and because I wasn't really still living kind of like I was still eating like I was 20.
That's a good way to put it, actually.
Like I was still in the military, and doing the PT and minus the PT, and then ladies and gentlemen, I had a rude awakening, and I'm a brand new type 2 diabetic.
Welcome to midlife.
Yeah. But, just like everyone, and I want to put this as part of the Digging Out series, because I think it was a very great not a very great experience, but a great experience for other people to learn from mine, please.
Like a wake-up call?
Yeah. Because I was angry, and sad at the same time. I wouldn't say depressed yet, but that was my initial feelings, because I was just like, oh my God, my life's over. I always hear people dying. I just lost a friend, and so I was like, well, that's it. Well, and but the more I started like calming down, and they got the right people in there to talk to me and figuring out what was wrong with me, because I was like, for a while I didn't feel like working out. I didn't feel like doing anything. Something was wrong. I was always tired or not focused. And what really literally caught my eye was my vision. When I was driving one day, I started noticing my vision was messing up, and that's when I was like, I need to go to the ER. Like something is wrong with me. And
I remember having that conversation with you. Was it
that day,
Tuesday or Wednesday morning?
No, it was Monday.
Monday?
Yeah, because I was in the hospital for a while.
Yeah, you'd said something like, I might not be able to get on and do the podcast today because I might have to go to the hospital. I'm like, what do you mean you might have to go to the hospital? That's one of those things where you're just like, pause.
Yeah, no,
what?
But yeah, and to be honest, if I would have waited another day or two, I would have been in a coma. It was that bad.
And so I remember as we're talking about this, you were telling me some of the symptoms that you were experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to let's go back over that.
Yeah, the symptoms was I was tired. I was always thirsty. Like I was downing. I had, those gallon jugs of water and I was downing them. And then nauseous once in a while, and just like I couldn't get, what it was is the excessive urination and thirst. Like I
Mhm.
couldn't get enough water, and I was just out of energy, dude. I didn't want to even get off the couch. Like I was done, and I didn't do anything. And then when I did, like, walk to the grocery store or walk with my wife and son, we have a little park here that we've been making a habit of walking, that I was just like, ugh, you know. And then the rapid heart rate, my
Mhm.
heart rate was just up there.
Did you also say something about chest pains?
That was initially, and I thought that was different, and it
Mhm.
wasn't. It was all combined together. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're feeling this, and go to the hospital right away, because you're either pre-diabetic or you have high blood sugar, basically.
Well, initially, because you had to visit the hospital once before,
Yeah, for
and
pancreatitis, and that's pretty much what was leading to that. It was all
well, I
the
mean, no, I mean just a few, like what, 2 weeks ago, you'd
yeah.
said you woke up, you couldn't get sleep, and so you just had to make some adjustments to your sleep apnea machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that the that it wasn't the sleep apnea, it was
Yeah, the symptoms of diabetes. It was just the
yeah.
high blood sugar. And but yeah, I was angry, I was upset, and then I started doing research, and I didn't know, like, because I thought it was a death sentence, like, oh, this is it, I'm taking insulin
No.
for the rest of my life or whatever. But for a second it was there. They didn't know what kind of diabetes I did have because of the numerous pancreatitis that I've been having. My pancreas could have just been done from just producing insulin.
Mhm.
And well, today I found out that it's not. It's just recovering. Now it's finally getting back to where it needs to be. So doctor recommend, our goal is to be in a year to be off insulin and drop weight, eat, exercise. I should be off insulin by the end of the year. And
So
but yeah, going through the emotional experience, I want to go back to that. Doing research, I didn't know how many people live with diabetes and are no longer on insulin and
mhm.
still living a normal life. And when I started reading that, that's when I was like, all right, I didn't dwell too much into the emotion. I was like, all right, now it's time to get educated and get knowledge in, and not get into emotion and fear and fall into that depression. That was my main goals. I didn't want to be completely in that, and
Mhm.
like cuddle that depression like a blanket, because that's not the right thing to do, because then your symptoms are just going to get worse. You just want to eat. You don't want to do anything. So,
So type 2 diabetes, that's the adult onset diabetes, correct?
yeah, but they've been changing it. From what I'm understanding, they're changing a lot of things, because there's a lot of people now these days in our country, um, that are getting type 1 at our age, and type 2 at our age. And then there's a new type 1.5.
That's
So,
news to me.
yeah. And she was like, and a lot of veterans too, she said, I get a lot of veterans that are either type 1 or type 2. They'll come in with either or, and it just come out of nowhere. It's because our crappy processed food that we have here. She says our country is full of processed food. And she says
Yeah,
most of it is juices. She's like, if you get rid of juices in supermarkets, we'll have a lot more healthier people.
that's possible because people have this
Mentality
there's
thinking
a
that orange juice can cure, or
yeah, that's the
yeah.
biggest load of horse shit I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, orange juice is nothing more than pure sugar with some oranges in it. That's it.
Hmm.
Have you ever had real natural fresh squeezed orange juice? It's nothing like the stuff that you buy in a container.
Yep.
Nothing like it. That stuff, juices in general are just misleading.
Hmm.
They're not like, oh, I got my kids some juicy juice because I want them to get their vitamins. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna load them up with sugar? Yeah, you're a genius.
Hmm. So now we're focusing more on diet.
Mhm.
So we started that yesterday. I think I ate a total of 40 carbohydrates yesterday for dinner and lunch and breakfast.
So it was recommended that a low carb diet is the best avenue of
Yep.
approach right now.
Yeah. Try to average between, she said 40 carbs a meal, but my wife and I agreed that we should do 60 altogether in one day because we're doing what we call a sliding scale when it comes to diabetes. When I do my blood sugar, I check in where I'm at pre, and then if I'm right now, everything is still going down from where it was. So like right now, to be truthfully honest, my blood sugar was at 201. And so now that means whatever carbs I eat or carbohydrates, kind of like one tomato, tomatoes have 12 grams of carbohydrates.
Yeah, they're a complex carbohydrate. There's two different types of carbohydrates, and you got to be pretty selective with that. Wheats and breads and cereals and pastas and stuff like that.
That's one thing.
Those are simple carbs.
We got rid of all that stuff out of the house. We went to the food bank, dropped a lot of food off that it was just kind of bad for us. We didn't even know it. And and we started realizing like, oh my God, Elon's been eating this. So it's frightening. It was eye-opening. So we got rid of a whole lot of stuff.
Potato chips.
Yeah.
That stuff is terrible every which way around. You're loading yourself up with carbohydrates and fats and salt. Like those are the big three that you just like, if you're gonna maintain a diet, like you don't want to just like start loading up on fats, carbs, and salt. So you want to eat some potato chips as a snack once in a while, sure, fine. They shouldn't be in your house on a regular basis. Absolutely not. That's insane. But people do it.
Yeah.
Another thing is just sodas. People don't think about this, but soda, whether it's diet soda, whether it's you a Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke, or a regular full sugar Coke, regular full sugar Pepsi, whatever, that stuff, dude, people drink that stuff like it's water. And I've heard people say, I don't like water.
Oh yeah. I think a Coke has 110 carbohydrates. Dude, if I drank a Coke, I couldn't have any more carbs for like almost that day and the next day. One Coke.
It's a weird world we live in, where people don't think about the things that they're eating. They just eat it because, well, that's what we had when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Like
sweet teas, and we're in Texas, the South, sweet, everything needs to be sweet tea.
Yeah, I'm going to get a sweet tea.
Yeah.
Make it two.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it's great though. I'm actually, since I've been out of the hospital, they, pretty much a hard reset. And now I'm just under recovery phase. My doctor said this month and next month, take it slowly. Don't hit the gym and start lifting 400 pounds or nothing right away. Start with walk and bike and then small weights, But what I'm trying to get at is it's crazy because like while I'm recovering and these past 2 days, I've had a lot more energy. I feel a lot better and I feel more focused. Like I was reading a book waiting for my doctor this morning. I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to comprehend a little bit more better now.
That's good. And that's something that you're going to notice. See, I've done the ketogenic diet before. I was trying to drop some weight last year. And when I went on to the ketogenic diet, I noticed that like my mind was clear. Like I was like, clarity was like 11, cranked all the way up. I was focused. I was like probably at my peak. I was probably the smartest point in my life. And that was ironically about the time I started actually reading and getting into personal development and whatnot. And I'm not attributing the two. I'm just saying like I utilized the ketogenic diet to kind of better myself. And that's what's beautiful about a keto diet is like, yeah, it may not be sustainable for everybody long term because it does take a certain mentality. You have to be able to
it's an addiction.
Really focus and think on
sugar is an addiction.
Absolutely.
So you're pretty much going through withdrawals. And
yeah, well, so what happens when you're sitting at a dinner table or something like that, and everybody's like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna all have cake now. We're all having dessert," and then you don't want to be the person who says, "Nah, I'm good," but like I'm that person. People it happens all the time. We're out to dinner with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, you know, Mexican restaurant, you want to get a sopapilla? No. Really? You don't? Have you ever tried them? I'm like, yeah, I've tried them. I don't want it.
Yeah.
They look at me like I'm crazy. Hey, you want to go get a donut real quick? No.
Yeah. No.
I'll get a coffee while we're there.
So
yeah, I'll do that.
That's another thing. Like at the hospital, that's where I started feeling the withdrawals with the sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at home. It might be longer, you know, everyone's body's different, but now it's just now being self-disciplined to not over portion now.
Yeah.
When it comes to like you know, we cut out starch because, you know, most of the carbohydrates come from starch, rice, potatoes, pretty much any root vegetable has some sort of carbohydrates. So I have to be real careful with that. But like last night we ate fish. It was grilled, you know, nicely grilled, seasoned very nice. And, you know, we made sure all the seasoning that we use has no sugar, because that's one other thing too. You have to be careful on these herbs that you buy to make sure they don't throw hidden sugars in there.
Mm-hmm. There's a neat little trick that I've learned over the years of trying different diets. You know, I've tried all the fad diets, you know, the keto and the carb free, whatever, you know, I've tried all of them except for veganism, because that's just insane. But here's a neat little trick that I've learned. All these seasonings, all these different spices, if you read the label, like there's always sugar or MSG or something along those lines that's in there. So in this process, take yourself a step back and just look at everything that's in your spice cabinet and go, you know what? Let's just use salt and pepper for now. Just use salt and pepper and just run with that. Try that for a little while. And you'll notice, like, all of a sudden, like, I don't need all these other seasonings. Salt and pepper. I'm happy with that.
Yep. And that's actually what we're talking about today, and trying to get us on the right path. But like, again, doesn't mean that my life is over or I have to eat nothing but like a couple peas or whatever. You know? But now it's coming down to like making sure like we ate a nice fillet, nice seasoned with avocado for the you know, we still need some good fats. And
yeah, that's a high quality fat.
Yeah. And some spinach leaves, and that was it, man. Just something really light, and just gotta stay focused, you know. And it's going to be an adjustment, and I would love to share it on this podcast, you know, continuously showing my progress, you know, once in a while, and letting people know like, hey, this is what's been happening and this is what we've been learning, because now it's a whole learning process. Like, we literally have to become chemists. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you read labels, like, man, this is the most difficult thing for anybody to understand. But reading the labels, you can change so many things about a certain product just by looking, like the manufacturers, that is. They can change something really easily about their product, and you'll never even know it. Because do you ever really go into the grocery store and sit there and read through the label and try to figure out like what's the name for the sugar that's in whatever it is that you're using? So a lot of times it doesn't just say sugar. So you have to look for something like corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, sucralose. There's so many different ways that they can hide the term sugar through scientific terms. So the easiest way to deal with all of this, it's very simple. All you have to do is you have to look at the ingredients list, and whatever's in the ingredients list should be basically a very short list. So I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna look at an ingredients list for, say, a package of spinach. I turn the package over and I check the back and I look at the ingredients. You know how many ingredients should be in a bag of spinach? 1, spinach.
Yeah.
If there's more than one ingredient, you're doing something wrong. Take, for example, meat. You get this all the time where it's like, oh, it's pre-packaged and it's pre-seasoned. Yeah, turn it around. Look at the ingredients list. What does it say on the ingredients list? Oh, Well, obviously it's not just meat that's in there. So there's also, oh, look, there it is right there. There's 37 grams of sugar within this package.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. And that's what's one thing that we've been doing lately. Like recently we went to the grocery store and, like, oh my God, I didn't know, like when you start actually reading it and then you have those hidden sugars. That's why you just have to read carbs. Because I'm just like, oh man, this is insane. I didn't even know this. And I used to eat 3 of these.
It's amazing. Have you ever, this is one that got me. I never thought about things like soups, right? You didn't think soup, like it's just soup. Like there's nothing to it. It's broth and if you go down that soup aisle where all those canned soups are at, pick one of those up one time and read the back of it. There's enough sodium in one of those cans for your entire daily intake in one can. I don't get full off of one can. I don't know about you, but I know. And it's loaded. So salt is a preservative. We know this because this is how we used to preserve food before we had refrigeration. That's how bacon was invented. That's an amazing story. Not going into it right now. And so you look at all of these things in the supermarket, in the grocery store, everything if it comes in a can, if it comes in a jar, if it comes in some kind of packaging, and there's flavor added to it in any way, shape, or form, you better believe that there's some kind of preservatives that are in there.
Yep.
So the trick is with this, and this is something that you may know or you may not know, but for anybody who's listening who doesn't know about this, the trick here is really simple, actually. The best way for you to maintain a very positive, healthy lifestyle is to stay out of the center aisles in the grocery store. Only walk around the edges, because that's where all the fresh foods, the fresh vegetables, the meats, things like that, that's where all those items are kept, is on the outside. Mm-hmm. It's when you're going up and down like the cereal aisle, the bread aisle, the crackers, the jams, the peanut butters.
Salad dressing.
Actually, peanut butter is not so bad. Salad dressings. All those things, they suck you in and they draw you in. And then you're walking up and down these aisles. Before you know it, you've got all this crap. You've got Doritos. You've got the honeycombs and the Honey Nut Cheerios and the Sara Lee bread or whatever crap it is that you're buying. And you're loading up on carbs, and you're giving your body like too much sugar, too much carbs. And we still haven't figured out why we as a nation are getting fat. Like, It's not that complicated. Just make better choices because they're available.
Yep.
So congratulations on finding out that you have to change your lifestyle. I'm glad that you've got it figured out now rather than before it was too late.
Yep. And I'm grateful too that, it doesn't have to be like this forever. It's now my choice.
No, it doesn't. And you were diagnosed with type 2.
Yeah.
So type 2 is it's manageable, if not even reversible. Mm-hmm. It's not a death sentence. So just it's time to make those changes, man. And I'm glad when you did. Mm-hmm. But now you have to do it. There's no choice in this. You have to do it, or you're looking at, if I don't do it, like I'd die. Yeah. So it's like, duh, you have to do it. One piece of advice that I would give you in this adventure, it's going to hurt for a little while. It's going to suck for a little while to transition off of the bad foods and onto the better foods. But if there's any piece of advice that I would give anybody in this current situation, you included, it's real simple. Do some freaking push-ups.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good one.